Do you ever struggle with fitness? You know what I mean, where you start going to the gym because you want to work out and you want to get super jacked, but then you stop halfway through because you're intimidated by it, or you just don't go at all? If so, then stick around. Hey gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Chris Fox Fashion. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can make your own personal fitness journey a little less terrifying so that you can get one step closer to being the most stylish guy in the room. And to do this, I'm going to give you 4 simple tips as well as a bonus app at the very end of this video that'll help you a lot. And no, it's not MyFitnessPal, and no, I'm not sponsored by them. All right, let's get on with it. Tip number 1, set smaller goals. When you start fitness for the first time, it's very tempting to try and set these huge goals and achieve everything all at once. So you might say to yourself, hey, I want to be super hardcore about all this. I want to get up every morning at 4 a.m., lift all the weights, eat all the vegetables, get super jacked by fall so that everybody's blown away. And then you try doing all of these things and you realize it's very difficult, it's very frustrating, so you give up. And then you don't even want to start again because you've already given up. So if you've already given up the first time, what's going to change if you start again? Well, one of the ways to completely avoid all of this is by setting smaller, more manageable goals. For example, you might say, hey, I just want to work on push-ups. So for the next month or so, you exclusively work on push-ups and work on perfecting that form. Then when you get a little bit better, you can start getting into more exercises. Or you might say, hey, I'm going to focus on my eating habits. So instead of focusing on trying to completely change your eating habits, you might decide to only focus on one meal every day, such as breakfast. And to do that, you'll say, hey, I'm not going to completely change my breakfast. I'm just going to try and make some healthier choices, like having an egg with vegetables every morning instead of having pancakes, or trying to have smaller portions. Setting smaller, more achievable goals will allow you to succeed so that you actually get more confident and are ready to set even bigger goals. And this actually leads me to point number 2. Tip number 2. Focus on consistency. When it comes to fitness, consistency is key. So the longer that you work out or the longer that you eat healthy for, the better your results are going to be. That's fairly simple, isn't it? Well, it is, but it's also very easy to start setting really high, unrealistic goals when it comes to that. For example, you might set an unrealistic goal like, I'm going to work out for 5 hours, 5 days a week, and I'm going to be great. And that's fantastic, but it's unrealistic for most people. So instead of setting those kind of really high goals, do what I said in the beginning and actually set smaller goals. For example, you might say to yourself, hey, I'm going to try skipping for 15 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week. Or I might try and go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. I'm not going to be there for 2 hours. I might only be there for 30 minutes, but I'm still going to try and hit that goal every week. At the beginning of your fitness journey, it doesn't really matter what your consistency goals are. What matters is that you hit them every single week, because the more you hit them, the better results you'll get, and the better results you'll get, the more comfortable you'll be. For example, if you are going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, in a month you'll feel much more comfortable in the actual gym itself than before, because it's more friendly and less intimidating. If you only take one thing away from this video, take away this point. Remember, consistency is key. Say it with me. Consistency is key. Everybody got that? Great. Let's talk about point number 3. Tip number 3. Ignore the numbers. A major pitfall that people experience when starting out on their fitness journey is becoming obsessed with the numbers. Specifically, I mean weight and body fat percentage. While you shouldn't ignore those completely because they are an indicator of health, it is important not to dwell on them. Total honesty for a second, I will admit that I do struggle with this because I have been weighing myself every day for the past 2 years. Right now I do it because it is required for a fitness program that I'm taking, but it's something that I did even when it wasn't necessary. The problem with weighing yourself every day is that you're more likely to become discouraged if you see that your weight's going up or just staying the same. So the best way to avoid this is to simply weigh yourself only a few times a week, depending on how comfortable you are. And you can start weighing yourself more frequently when you do get more comfortable with the whole fitness world. Again, I'm not saying that you should ignore your weight completely because it is important, but just try not to dwell on it. So what do you actually do if things start to get really tough? Well, that actually leads me to tip number 4. Tip number 4, use what inspires you. Let's be real for a second. Fitness is incredibly tough, and you have no doubt already faced challenges, and you're definitely going to face even more challenges down the road. So the best way to actually get through all this is to find out what inspires you. Ask yourself, what inspired you to actually even start this whole fitness journey? It could be someone that you know who's had great success in the whole fitness world. It could be an athlete, or it could be anything. I myself am a big nerd, so naturally superheroes inspire me. More specifically, people from Marvel like Captain America and Thor. I'm also a huge fan of the Arrow TV show, so of course Oliver Queen is inspiring to me. There were so many times that I was working out with my trainer where we would get to an exercise where I just felt like I couldn't do it. In those moments, my trainer would look at me in the eye and say the words, "My name is Oliver Queen." And I would say right back to him, "My name is Oliver Queen." In the worst possible Oliver Queen impression you could think of, I would say it. And in that moment, I'd feel like him. I'd picture Oliver Queen doing that crazy stamina ladder move that he does throughout the series, and I would push through my exercise and get to the next one only to be discouraged again. But I would keep doing that and I would get through it. So really, just find what inspires you and use it, because you're going to be so surprised at how much it'll actually help you get through this incredibly stressful process. I see you guys are actually sticking around, so you must be pretty serious about this whole fitness thing. Well then, that's good, because I'm about to show you an app that'll definitely help you out. The app that I'm talking about is called My Macros Plus, and before I continue, I should say that it actually does cost money, but it's only $3.99 Canadian, and let me tell you, it is absolutely worth it. I love this app. I've been using it for about a month or so, and it is fantastic. I love it because it makes tracking what you've eaten so easy, and it even tells you all the macros that the food contains. As all the gym bros out there know, macros refer to things like proteins and carbohydrates. To find out all that information, you can either input the food in manually, or you can take a package and scan the barcode. Once you scan the barcode, the food will then be added to the app permanently, and you can even adjust the values if you need to. My Macros not only tells you how many calories you should be consuming every day, but it also tells you how much of each macro you need to be healthy. Before I forget, I want to give a shout out to my cousin who got me onto this. Thank you, sir. It's really helped. If you're even remotely curious about this app, I would highly suggest that you do some research, read some reviews, watch some YouTube videos, but ultimately you can't go wrong with this, and this will be of great help to you, I promise. If you're looking for some new styles to rock on your fitness journey, then check out some of these videos over here, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.